Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. And what can we say? We're scorching hot here, and hope you're all having a good day and a good afternoon. Thank you if you've just joined us. Do appreciate it as always. So big up the chat already. And we will. I'll try and get through to your comments. So, guys, I am delighted as well. It only seems like yesterday that these legends were on sharing the screen with me, and I'm pleased to say that they're back again. So, Normski, how you doing? How you doing, my friend? All good?
All good, enjoying the lovely weather, lovely, nice and hot over here in the desert. As you can see behind me, it's pretty hot over there. And, yeah, and as you can see, if you look in the distance, you can probably see a couple of strikers coming. Yeah.
Yeah, through the tumbleweed, through the tumbleweed.
Yeah, through the tumbleweed. But yeah, no, it's all good. Big up to the panel, Jez, and what's the name? It's just been great seeing you guys on here, Kenny Ken, and the chat. Big up to you guys. We're gonna have a great show tonight, or this evening, should I say, early evening. And yeah, I'm ready for it, bro. Let's go for it.
No, big up, Norms, as always. No, thank you for joining us, my friend. Thank you very much indeed. And delighted to see Kenny again. So, how you doing, Kenny? All good?
Yeah, all good. It's been like, as he said, it's been really quiet. You know, you can't even have speculation because they're not letting anything out. No one's talking about anything. Sky Sports, which is normally the radio of sort of transfers, have got nothing in Arsenal. You know, just what people know. The transfer window is open.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed. I mean, you wouldn't believe it, would you? But the transfer window is open, my friend, and that's what we're going to get into, really. So, no, we're going to get into it, mate. And I'm sick and tired of the Gorkarez and Sesko situation, but it's the elephant in the room, and it's the whatever you want to call it in the room, and we have to touch on it. We have to. Jezza, lovely to see you, mate. I know you're still over in sunny France, my friend. How you doing, brother? Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, melting, man. 36 today. Fuck.
Oh, 36. We're moaning at 27, 28 here.
Rock, man. Well, it's what they want here because it's obviously the prime time for growing all the grapes and shit for the wine production in September. So this is what the boys want over here. But yeah, as I said to you earlier, man, nightmare yesterday. We were going to Switzerland for a few days, drive over the Alps, and 2 hours away from here, warning light on the car. What's going on? And it wasn't overheating. In fact, the temperature was dropping. So pulled over, stopped, pulled the bonnet up, pulled the engine covers off, and the water pump's leaking. And
mate,
brilliant. And then luckily we got cover, AA cover in Europe, but it was 34 degrees, right?
Yeah,
no cover, no aircon, sat there. Took 8 hours to get recovered. 8 hours, and it was like nightmare. So we don't know when we're going to get the car back now. So that's mucked our plans up for the week. But never mind. Hey, the sun is shining.
Yeah, no, you don't need that, mate. It's an absolute nightmare, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's when that goes wrong, especially in that heat. Well, any time of the year, but when you're in that heat and you've got no aircon and you're waiting and waiting and waiting, it's an absolute nightmare, isn't it? So, big up, my friend. Big up, my friend. Anyway, glad to see you. Thank you for joining me as always, and the chat. Always a pleasure. Always to have everyone on here. So we're going to get stuck right into it, and I'm going to share something with you here. These two guys here. I'm starting to think, why is it a club like Arsenal, with all this intelligence running through the club, Berta in place, Arteta been there now, well established as the Arsenal manager. Sesko is someone he highlighted a season ago, last year, year before, whenever. He obviously wants him. So why is it? I'm going to come to you first. Why, in your opinion, is it taking so long to sort out these signings? Is it because these two have got difference of opinion? Is there like a little civil war within the camp? Or is it just that the both of them are trying to work together and get the best deal done for the club? What's your opinion, Kenny?
I just think it's the way Arsenal do business. We've been down this road before. Yeah, I think we knew we can't really talk about last season because last season was more about us waiting for Sesko to get the striker and more about getting rid of people. I had to turn that down. I won't be calling again. I had to get rid of players, the fringe players out of the football club. Yeah, fine. You got to get rid of the fringe players out of the football club.
Right.
That's what it's about. But this time, I think the reason why it's taking long is that the club don't think there's any rush in terms of getting these. They genuinely believe that both Sesko and Zubimendi, especially Zubimendi, is a sure thing. They're completely confident they're getting Zubimendi. Sesko, everything's in place. The guy has, as far as they know, they think that Arsenal's his preference. So they're just taking their time, making sure that everything's in place, make sure there's all the I's and T's I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, and then business as usual. But the frustrating thing for Arsenal fans as well is that we all know that there's other areas of the team that needs work. And it is major surgery. But for some reason, it's that the longer this takes to get these two in, the less time we're going to have to get some deals over the line. We don't, as far as we know, no approaches have been made for other positions, left back, left winger, possibly probably another defender. We've heard nothing. We just heard about these two. So, and the biggest worry is it just going to be these two? Because if it's just these two, again, you've got to be concerned. You have to be concerned because there was quite a lot of players last season didn't have good seasons. And some of them are established players. So we've got to watch this space. We really have to watch this space and see what happens. But I think we need 6 and 7.
Yeah, and that's the worrying thing, mate, because, Normski, I've said that the longer this goes on, the more the price tag's going to go up. And I'm fearful that we're going to end up paying well over the top for either of these players. And then consequently, the back end of that is it's going to leave us short in other areas to go out and do business. We're going to have less money in other areas to strengthen. What's your opinion? Do you think these two have got a clash of personalities over it, or do you agree with Kenny that it's dragging its heels, and are we going to end up paying too much money for them in the long run?
As you say, it could be a number of things that's going on. We wish we could be a fly on the wall to really know what's really going on, behind the scenes. And I heard someone saying that with Berta, he's quite a private person, and I know with Edu, a lot of the stuff, we saw a lot of stuff happening. A lot of leaks were happening, coming out, and so people were saying, "Oh well, at least we know we're going for that player." Whereas Berta kind of plays his cards to his chest, and then you've got the narrative of Berta wanting Gyökeres and Arteta wanting Sesko, and the whole Sesko thing. Listen, we've been linked with him for nearly a season and a bit, and still we're no further forward.
Crazy.
Knowing whether we've got this guy or not. Now we have this whole thing, this narrative where we're playing off the two of each other. Victor's come out and said that he only wants Arsenal. He came out from Fabrizio, and then 5 minutes later, Fabrizio's saying, "Well, it's not exactly as it's meant to be." He's not saying that he doesn't want Man United. He's just saying that his preference would be Arsenal. So the whole thing is that Man United is still going to be open to possibly getting a punt at this guy. But the whole thing is just a circus right now, and the worst thing to happen is for this to drag on and be a protracted thing throughout the summer. And this is what Arsenal do. You saw how long it took us to get Moreno and Calafiori over the line, and what happened with that? Calafiori was injured, and we ended up playing Moreno up front, right? Right. So you've got that situation, and then I come to your point, DJ, when you say that the longer it goes on, is the more the power is in the hands of RB Leipzig or Sporting, because they know that these players are Arsenal are going to get desperate. And they're going to say, well, okay, if you want him, you're going to have to pay this. And this is, and then the agents say, well, we want this, because at the end of the day, Havertz is on £280,000 a week, and you're bringing in a top class player in Gyökeres, and you're going to say, well, if you're paying him 280, he needs to be getting at least 300. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And then what will happen is that we'll drag this on, and then all the other targets that we're meant to be linked with, that have been put on the back burner now, we're going to be rushing around because we're not going to have enough money left over to go and get them. And it's just, for me, it feels very much an underwhelming window. Yeah, people are going to say, be patient, it's still early in the window. You're looking at the likes of Man City, you're looking at the likes of Liverpool, who have really identified their targets and got their targets over the line. Frimpong, even before the window was open, they had him over the line. He was flying over to have his medical. Why is it at Arsenal? It's typical of Arsenal to do this, to drag things on. And then I think as the window closes or gets nearer to the end, we all start panicking. Arsenal start panicking, and then everything becomes a panic buy. And then we end up paying over the odds, and then we don't have enough money to then go and spend well in the other areas that need addressing. And that's just typical of Arsenal right now.
No, fact, mate, fact. I mean, it is, and I said it in the title. Is it a circus? And from the outside looking in, you know, you got that Henry Winter making a comment on it about how long it's taking. You know, it's not as if it's kind of new that we needed a striker. We've needed a striker for many, many seasons, and it's still dragging its feet. Jez, I want to ask you, why is Ollie Watkins now thrown into the mix? Is it because they're not 100% confident that Gyökeres and Sesko's not going to get over the line, and they're using Watkins as a safety blanket, if you like?
I think you're totally right. I mean, Ollie Watkins, we've looked at him in the past, never done anything. And I just think you're right, mate, that probably Gyökeres and Sesko could be a bit of an iffy setup, that we're not going to get them. So we got to have that parachute, and that is probably Ollie Watkins, you know. But I think we should be basically looking at players that we not, you know, yes, we need striker, yes, we do, but there are other positions we also have to look at, and that's my concern, that we're not going to do it yet again.
Fact.
And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but Eze, that's one worth looking at.
Yeah, 100%.
Once again, you know, it seems to be this manager just wants what he wants. And you were saying that, you know, just back now to Normski and Kenny about this Arteta relationship. I don't think it's all that rosy, mate. I personally think there's a lot of conflict there. And that's why maybe we are holding back as a club, because these two just can't get it together and agree. No. But actually, these are the things we do need. And Kenny, you just nailed it, man. It's not just a striker we need. I mean, we got some shit players in our squad. Shit players, man, that really shouldn't be here and need to go. I mean, what's going to happen with Jesus? Right? What's going to happen with him? What's going to happen with Tomiyasu?
Oh,
right?
done.
Played for about 10 minutes last season. Never, you know, we've lost Tierney. So that's another player gone. Sterling, waste of money, waste of time.
Yeah.
Absolute waste of time. So, Kenny, you're right, mate. You're bang on. We need to invest heavy. But we are desperate for a proper striker. Will Gyökeres or Sesko be the one? I don't know. I don't know enough about them. So you're quite right, mate. The parachute for us is Ollie Watkins. Personally, if you want my honest opinion, mate, I would look elsewhere.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, Jez. I mean, the fact that Ollie Watkins is even in the frame tells me that things are not all going well with Gyökeres and Sesko. Because for me, if it's all nailed on and it's all confident and talks are going well and they're backwards and forwards with the club advisors and the powers to be and the sporting directors of Leipzig, and I'm mainly focusing on Sesko because let's be honest, that's who the manager wants. Shane Gooner, and big up Shane Gooner, he sent me a thing the other day and I can't get it up, but apparently there was a poll and the majority, sort of 60-70% of the Arsenal fans wanted Sesko. Now, whether that's because it's all the Arteta in brigade, you know, just because the manager wants him, everyone else wants him, I don't know. But the fact that Watkins is actually in the frame, they're not really confident, Kenny, on both strikers, are they? Or are they just trying to get links with perhaps all the strikers that could be available and then just seeing where they go from there, mate? You all right, Kenny?
Sorry about that. Yeah, it's just.
No, that's all right.
I always put the mute button on, and then it takes me an age to take it off. But first and foremost, I was watching a podcast today, and the sort of impression I got from the podcast, and the impression I get from quite a lot of some of our fans, not all of them, when you talk about both the strikers, is that not many Arsenal fans are mightily impressed. With either striker. Hold on 2 seconds. Speak solo because someone's on the door and I'm on my own.
Yeah, go on, Kenny. Yeah. No, this is the worry though, isn't it? I mean, I know Kenny's had to go. He's got a knock at the door. But he's had a stinker and hooked. His mobile phone's gone and now he's had a knock at the door.
No, no.
I mean, what's going on? We're going to. I mean, he's racking up the fines, guys, isn't he? But anyway,
there's all pinging going on. There's everything happening, isn't it?
Might be Sesko knocking on his door. I'll take the season ticket. While Kenny's sitting at the door, big up the chat. Thank you for joining us on this hot Tuesday afternoon. Thank you very much. All your comments are welcome. Make sure that you're subbing and following the guys. The links are pinned somewhere. They should be. It's Jez is Arsenal and Normski TV there. If you Google away or whatever, you'll come across them. Make sure you're following them. And Kenny Ken on Insta, he hasn't got a channel. And so make sure you're following them. Yeah, go on, Kenny. What were you saying, my friend? Sorry. You were saying about you was following a stream and you was talking about the feedback on the strikers, my friend.
Well, first and foremost, I'm hearing that quite a few Arsenal fans, they have no. If you were to offer Isak rather than those two, then they'll take Isak. I'm not sure that many Arsenal fans are mightily, excited about either striker. Obviously, Sesko, they're looking at the goals and the goal return that he has from Leipzig, and they say it's very gradual. And then they'll talk about Gyökeres as well. They're very impressed with the stats, but they're talking about converters from like La Liga and Portugal to the Premiership.
Yeah, don't wash him.
They're worried about can he convert those same sort of chances. But with Isak, they want someone very, very much proven, which is Isak is. But realistically, we're not going to get Isak. But then again, Watkins won as well. I think that's something that I don't know if the club's put it out. I'm sure that people who represent, who cover Arsenal for their particular publications, which just throwing it out there, all because Ollie Watkins is. Arsenal were in discussions about Ollie Watkins. Well, Villa were looking to sell safe because they were basically in that sort of PSR threshold. So Ollie Watkins was the one that they were looking to sell because they know that his age, like resale value, they're not going to get £60 million probably in another couple of years. So let's see if Arsenal can bite the bullet. So I think that's why he's in the mix. But another reason why the logic states that Ollie Watkins should be considered is one thing. he's a proven striker. He's an international. You know, got 19 goals. 19 goals he got last season.
Yeah,
and he's more than likely that if he's fully fit with a chance to recreate, and if he's got his shooting boots on, he could replicate that for Arsenal. But the question I've always asked is that you've known about this player for a long time. Why now? Why now?
Exactly. That's what worries me. That's what worries me, Kenny.
Why now?
Because, is it because talks are breaking down between Sesko and Gorkarez?
I don't think talks are breaking down as such. But why when he was in his prime, he was good to go. I mean, if Arsenal was looking to get him in, you only have to look at the lockdown season when him and McGinn and co, they actually battered us in lockdown. They beat us 3-0. I mean, Barkley was playing that game as well. I believe Grealish was still on the team that day.
Yeah.
You would have thought, right, next season, get Ollie Watkins in, regardless whether you have a Aubameyang in or not. But for some reason, we now need him now. And it is a worry, but the situation is regarding Berta and Arteta, I still say, early days, watch this space.
Yeah.
Watch this space. Berta's got other things to do. In terms of,
I wish I had all. I think we wish we all had Kenny's patience, really, because
I'm not patient. I'm resigned to the fact at Arsenal. It's just that I know how this club runs. I know how they like to do business, and they like to do things the right way, and they like to, make sure that everything's in place financially, in terms of like the players and fitness, and just all the legal stuff is done. They take their time at Arsenal. They want to really make sure everything's done.
Always have done, mate, and they always.
And that's Sesko's not all that though.
Who's that? Sesko.
Yeah, I've heard he's not all that.
Well, I think with Sesko is that with Sesko is about what we think he can achieve in the future. It's never really been about what he's going to do right now. But obviously, with Arsenal winning the league for 21 years, with Arsenal, finishing second, a poor second compared to the last couple of seasons, he has to hit the ground running. It's nothing's stay, regardless of whether there's going to be no time for any striker, regardless of whether it's Sesko, Gyökeres, or anyone else. They have to score goals yesterday. It's not even they can't afford to have like a sticky patch. You just can't afford it. That's the pressure that they're going to be under. And the reason why they're under that pressure is because of the demands, because everyone thinks, I think maybe mistakenly, that our only problems is we haven't got a striker.
Yeah. No, do you know what though? I think, what do you feel on this though, Jez? Because all I'm hearing is Gyökeres might not be able to cut it in the Premiership just because he's banged in goals in the Portuguese league and he's flying in that league. He can't adapt to the Premiership. On that basis, we should go out and sign Watkins, shouldn't we? Because we know he's done it in the Premiership.
Well, that's a very good point.
Do you know what I mean? What do you reckon, Jez? Because this is what I'm hearing, and I always think that if a striker can score goals in any league, you score goals anywhere. But what's your opinion on it?
Well, let's be honest. We have seen players come from abroad into the Premier League and just not cut the mustard. It has happened. I'm not saying he would be one of them. If he does eventually join our club, then I wish him all the very best and hope he does succeed. But there is always that risk, of course. But that could be a risk of any player. We've had failures in a lot of positions over the years. But right now, we need a proven one. So do we take the gamble of going with, let's say, him, Sesko, or a proven scorer in the Premiership?
Yeah.
If you want me to, be honest, I would take Watkins because he's proven. All right. People have said he hasn't quite got the pace he once had. Well, okay. I don't know about that, but he is proven. He's got the pedigree. Whereas we take the gamble. Whereas Kenny said, we do need a striker. We need a striker.
Yeah.
So if I want to make the safe bet, right, I'm going Watkins.
Yeah, no, I understand, Jez. I understand where you're coming from, because the way I'm leaning is Sesko's a project. Gorka everyone's got mixed opinions about him because he's played in the Portuguese league and people were saying he's going to struggle in the Premiership, even though his goal record and his stats just all add up for itself. But I mean, there's another one, Aces, big up Aces every time. And I mean, I keep banging on about this guy. I mean, you've got the likes of Jared Bowen. Now, West Ham are kind of, Sullivan's desperate for money. I mean, is he a sort of player we can just go and turn ahead or inquire about? Would he be any good, Kenny? I mean, for me, he can play in a 10, he can play in the centre, he can play down the right, he can even do a job left. So is he a sort of player that you'd be perhaps, if we went in for?
I think what the situation is that eventually someone is going to give him his chance. A bigger club than West Ham.
Yeah,
and it's up to sort of Ollie Watkins to sort of make it his own and be, because you look at Ollie Watkins, the biggest worry we're always going to have is can he make that transition and hit the ground running, or is he going to be like a Trossard it was a very good player for us. There's no doubt Trossard's done good things for the football club. However, you look at Trossard and you think, you know what, we just need that little bit more than what Trossard can give us.
Is he going to take us to that next level?
And you have to pose that question to Jared Bowen as well. That, the question, as long as he's at West Ham, the question is all going to be fantastic player for West Ham, but the West Ham team is built around Jared Bowen. Yeah. How is Jared Bowen going to play with really, really good players where his standards have to be 7 out of 10 every game, because we're under pressure to win every game in order that we can win the league, in order that we can win in the Champions League and win trophies, whilst at West Ham, of course, he's consistent, but he's got the sort of how to say it, creating a bank to have a kind of a quiet period. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, Normski, we were just saying about Watkins. I mean, the good thing about, you could, if Watkins did come to the club, you could play him out on the left, couldn't you? So we could save money for Martinelli there. Do you know what I mean? He could be back up for Martinelli. Is that something that we could perhaps do? Stick, get him in, perhaps rotate him on the left. I mean, with Sesko, we don't know whether he can play on the left. He normally comes in from the right, I believe. But I mean, with Watkins, that would be an option, wouldn't it?
He probably is sort of Arteta's sort of type player where he can sort of go out to the left and come in, But I just think 29 years old, 56. I suppose if you look at if he's giving you say 18, 19 goals, and sort of Aston Villa were probably looking at 50 to 60 million for him. Is he someone that's going to get us over the line? I don't think so. It will just complete. It will just get complete. I think I'm at this stage where we've got to get the now players in and get the players that are going to now literally finish the journey. As Arteta likes to say, he's on a journey. We need to get to the destination now. So we need to get the players in that can get us over or get us to the destination. But yeah, it would be an option because it does save us money in that sense. In terms of if you're not going to sort out the left-hand side and you end up selling Martinelli, then yeah, he would be a good option out there. Yeah. But I still feel we still need that out-and-out striker. Now, Victor Osimhen, he's there, but the wages, that's the problem that's putting off a lot of people. Do you know what I mean? And is that a decent price? You know what I mean? I think it's just, he wants 12 million net. You know what I mean? He's 26 years old, and when you look at his goal scoring records since being at Napoli and Galatasaray, it's ridiculous. And I don't know why people are frightened about having an out-and-out goal scorer. It's always does this player fit Arteta's system? The way I look at it, guys, is that Arteta's paid a lot of money, and sometimes you need to then adapt to the way the player is playing, because at the moment Sesko is probably that kind of Arsenal player, big, tall. So you're going to be expecting a lot of balls that are going to be lumped into the box, and he's going to end it. Whereas Gyökeres now, and I think I heard Kenny saying, he's come, not Kenny, sorry, Jez. He's played for Coventry. He's played in the Championship. Yeah. Well, so was Vardy. Look what Vardy's come from non-league, and won a Premier League with Leicester. So why people keep turning around and changing the goalposts and saying, well, Gyökeres, he's really only good at certain things, and they've had Sky polls out saying that they'd rather Sesko in it. I think Sky and Arsenal are in bed together. So
yeah, no, it's a fact.
They'll always be backing each other. But for me, it's about having an out-and-out goal scorer that knows where the back of the net is. Yeah. And Arteta needs to fit the players around Gyökeres, yeah. Whereas Sesko, he likes to come out, he likes to drop deep, and he's either down on the wings and the flanks or whatever. That's an Arteta style type play. I think on Dan's show, on his show, I think Harry said that you could see the difference between Sesko and Gyökeres, whereas Sesko very much like an Havertz part 2. Yeah.
Yeah. No, exactly. Nice facts, mate. And I mean, you made a good.
If he's getting 13 goals in the Bundesliga, yes, people are going to turn around and say that the Portuguese league is a farmers' league and whatever. Well, I'll tell you, if it is a farmers' league, I'll keep saying it. I love the crops over there. I'll have some of those crops because I think those crops are nice. That's my opinion. Go and get a striker. He's 69 million pounds. Yeah, we're going to pay 60 million pounds for Ollie Watkins. Yes, Sesko is going to cost a little bit more. He's going to have a bit of a higher ceiling, but I don't think he's going to come over here and get you 10 goals.
No, facts. I mean, this is the thing I'm trying to think. If you're going to spend money and there's 3 strikers available, you're going to take a chance with all 3 of them, aren't you? You're going to, are they going to fit? Are they going to fit the system? And all this, are they going to fit here? Are they going to fit there? You just go out and get the best in class. And surely Gyökeres is the one with the right CV, because we ain't got time for projects, and we keep saying it. We ain't got time for projects. We ain't got time for, is he going to do this? Will he be okay? Will he fit the system? Will he fit that? We just ain't got that time. We need someone to come in, score goals, put away the chances that get created, and so be it. But I mean, the circus will carry on with this football club and strikers. I'm sure it will for the next week.
I just say one other thing. I think the other thing as well, which I'm noticing as well, is that soon as obviously Berta came on the scene, then the whole the Gyökeres thing wrapped up, and everybody was like backing Gyökeres and saying, yeah, we're going to need to get Gyökeres and blah, 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 blah. Then all of a sudden, as soon as, Arteta asks on who the people say that Arteta wants, which is Sesko, all of a sudden the narrative changes now. Well, when you really look at Sesko, he's probably a better, for Arsenal. And Gyökeres, they start looking at his weak points and whatever. They've both got weak points. But if I'm a guy and I know that you can hit the target and you're hitting 39 plus goals a season, I'm willing to take the gamble on you. The gamble for them is his age. So then why have we gone for Moreno, who end up playing up front for us?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, ages don't come into it. It's who the manager wants, and the manager's been after Sesko for ages. So, guys, moving on. Anyone can come in here. Where's Zubamendi? Where is he? I mean, I've heard rumours that we're waiting for July. So why are we the only club that's got to wait for July? Liverpool ain't waiting till July. Man United ain't waiting till July. Is it the Arsenal transfer window? Does it only relate to Arsenal then? Because this Zubamendi was done and dusted in February, when we failed to do the right thing in the summer last year, and then we failed to do the right thing in January. To get all the fans excited, we announced the Zubamendi deal in February.
Yep.
Here we are, middle of June, getting to the end of June, and we still ain't signed him. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, Kenny, what's going on with the Zubamendi thing?
As far as people within the football club and people who've got access to the club, they've been told that everything's in place. and that patience has to be a virtue. That everything's as good as done, and that it's just about getting the medical. They can. There isn't a club. There isn't anyone within the Arsenal hierarchy that I'm being told, and people who cover Arsenal who have any doubts whatsoever about this is going to happen. The only people who may have some doubts are, the situation regarding Real Madrid. But you hear rumours. 1 minute Real Madrid may be interested. Then they say that they're not looking to sign a midfielder, and that Zubi's coming. But it's just another example of how Arsenal do business. But you could never say never in football. Never say never. You've seen it in many clubs where deals have been in place, players been watched, and then they go elsewhere. It happens in football. Let's not forget that Eden Hazard. Do you remember him?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember how Arsenal Wenger tracked him for years and years and years, spoke to his representatives, and then on the eve of the end of the 2011-2012 season, everyone was into him apparently. Man United, us, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, and then he made an announcement that he's chosen to go to the team that won the Champions League, which was Chelsea that season.
Exactly. You never know, do you? Until you get them in the door, Kenny, nothing's safe, is it?
You don't know. But we had this with Declan Rice 2 years ago, remember, where everything was agreed. West Ham wanted the valuation fee. They wanted 115. Arsenal didn't want to pay 115, and then Man City mysteriously were put in the mix. Man United, who won a periphery, were put in the mix. In the end, he ended up coming, didn't he? And then that was a smokescreen for the bigger news. Don't get me wrong. And the bigger news was Kai Havertz coming to the club. I mean, we didn't see that coming, did we?
No.
So fast forward the summer 2025. Who's going to be the sort of wild card signing?
There's always a wild card, and there's always a shock, isn't there, Ken?
That's the thing. Who else is there? Who else are you looking at that everyone's in? Because everyone's focusing on the two strikers. Apparently, Arsenal got 2 deals set in place for Sesko and Gyökeres, which is the Gyökeres, I believe when I see it, and then obviously the Sesko. So why is it taking long? That's Arsenal Football Club for you, mate.
Exactly, the circus. Jez, Zubimendi is the answer, isn't he, mate? I mean, you're going to go and get your shirt, and you're going to get it all printed up. You're going to have his number. This is the guy that's going to take us to the promised land. This is a guy that don't really want to sign for us, to be honest. That's the impression I get from Zubimendi. He don't even want to be here. He's only, he seems to have kind of done a verbal agreement in February, and then kind of hung it out, hoping someone else will come in for him. I mean, for me, I don't know what you think, brother, but for me, I'm not really happy with the signing. I don't know about you, mate.
Yeah, I think he's he's playing the long game, isn't he? Right. He's definitely holding out for somebody else to come in for him. If he really wanted to come to Arsenal, it would have been done by now. The agents would have met, they would have done the business. Right. Maybe for financial reasons. I've heard that it's to balance the books at his club, but I don't know if I'm falling for that one, because the deal can be done. Sign him, announce him, and then Arsenal say, right, okay, well, we've signed this guy, and we'll pay you the money on the 1st of July. Easy, isn't it? Really? It's not that hard.
Yeah,
not fucking hard, is it?
No.
But
this is what. Go on, mate. Sorry,
but I don't believe any of it. To be honest, I don't think this guy's that bothered. I don't think he's that keen. I'm sorry. I have to track back to the thing I've said so many times. How many of these players, the reputation Arsenal have got in European football, right? How many of these players actually want to play for Arteta, knowing his pedigree and his history? I think that's a big stumbling block. That is a problem, because people have seen how he treats players, how he disrespects players if they don't play his game.
Hmm.
You know, and I think that's a problem, man. And I think it's always going to be a problem at Arsenal.
Yeah, no, that's absolute facts, my friend. Absolute facts. I mean, you know, it is become now. You know, I mean, with Zubamendi, he's a kind of additional squad player as far as I'm concerned. If Partey has another season, but again, that's another thing. We ain't even sorted that out. We don't know if Partey's coming or going. We don't know if he's staying. We don't know if he's going to get a year's extension. We don't know if he's, you know, going to play in with Zubamendi. And if Zubamendi does come and Partey stays, what's going to happen to Marino? You know, it's just crazy for a club like Arsenal. I don't know any other club that operates like this, guys. Look at Liverpool. You know, record signing done within weeks. Done within weeks. You know, the other signing they made, you know, I forgot his name there, chat. But is it Frimpong or someone? I mean, again, done. No hanging around, guys, you know. And with us, it's players linked in February. And I'd have thought 1st of June, bang, done. Holding up the shirt, out on the pitch, win the dog styles, everything. Nothing. But no, it's crazy, mate. It's crazy. I mean, Normski, Zubamendi, you bought your shirt yet, mate?
Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, this whole Zubamendi thing. Yeah, I think, as I said, when we lost to Newcastle, then they threw that one out and said, "Oh yeah, we've got it all signed, sealed, and delivered. I'm yours." Yeah, it was just a matter of him having his medical. Yeah, 51 release clause met. Well, why are they now trying to pay over installments? Yeah, if that's the case, or negotiating to play over installments. Yeah, and again, he's not a needle
Why
for
ain't
me.
coming out of the war chest? Where's the big war chest? Why do we need installments, Norms? We've got this big war chest.
Exactly. So you have to ask yourself the question: have Arsenal got the money? You know, I mean, I would think you would have the money because of where we finished in the league and where we finished in Champions League money. You know, all of that you would expect. So you want to get past? Hold on, mate. Just want to. I've got a busy. Yeah, don't find me. Whatever you do.
No, that's all right.
Right. Yeah, as I was saying. Yeah. So just with the situation with Zubamendi, I think there's a possibility the longer it goes on, you know, Real Madrid will probably be waiting in the wings. And we also have the situation where the Partey situation is not sorted out yet. You know, they're talking about giving him a year. We're probably with an extension. Now, his deal finishes in the end of June. All right. So he wasn't even put on the release list. Yeah, you know, when they released all those 17 players. He wasn't actually on there. So looks like they're still working on it. But the problem we have is that if we end up losing Partey and we're still none the wiser of what's happening with Zubamendi, we have to now look at that midfield area and see that needs a complete rebuild. Because Moreno in there, yeah, for me, does not pull up any trees for me. No. When we bought this guy, who's probably third or fourth choice for Real Sociedad, yeah, just because he came on in the World Cup or whatever it was, European Cup or whatever, and scored, everybody's getting all gassed about him. For me, you know, I don't see him as a. When I say I don't see him as, I mean I don't think he's of the quality that we need in midfield. No. But he did a job for us up front because we didn't have any other solutions, so we had to go.
And to be fair, he done well. You can't knock him.
I mean, you can't knock him. So
I'll take my hats off because he did score goals and he done a job.
He's done his business there, but I think the midfield is the most important part for me.
Yeah.
Engine room. If we don't get that right, and especially when you're playing in Europe, Champions League, it's the midfield that wins you. You only got to look at PSG. You've only got to look at PSG.
Which moves me nicely on because Kenny, my next question to you guys is, right, now I've been banging on about this for quite some time now. Lewis Skelly, yeah, brilliant young talent. I personally think he's wasted at left back. I don't really want to see him at left back on a permanent basis. I understand he's filled in now because of injuries and the manager discovered him by default like he does most of the players. If it hadn't been for injuries, Lewis Skelly would still be playing in the reserves. No one would have even heard about him because Arteta wouldn't have identified him by now. He may have made the bench a couple of times, but literally he only got he only got a shout because of injuries and suspensions and everything else. But now we have discovered him. He's an absolute baller as far as I'm concerned. He's got so much potential. I think he's wasted at left back, Kenny. Can't we? Do you reckon there's an opportunity we can perhaps turn him into like a Rodgers, a Gibbs White, and put him in that midfield?
Without a show of doubt, because you only have to look at the evidence. It can be done. Forget Saka. What about Gareth Bale? Let's not forget his first, when he was at Southampton, he was a left back. And then he gradually, moved further up the field. And then he gradually moved into that role where he was playing his best football, just, where he's playing an inverted role, inverted in the inverted right. And that earned his move to Real Madrid. And he's never looked back. And Lewis Skelly in that kind of level? We should, hopefully we can find out. Because we found it out about Saka, didn't we? When Saka came to the side, he was the left back, and then he moved further up the field, and then he basically took Pepe's place. Pepe became the real reason Pepe became surplus to requirements. Obviously, stuff he didn't do off the ball was Bukayo Saka. As much as Arsenal fans bemoan Pepe and the fact that he wasn't given a chance, well, he couldn't get the team because Bukayo Saka took his place. So yeah, that potentially could happen. Yeah. The thing is that England's very interesting. The England situation is interesting because Thomas Tuchel is picking him at left back.
Exactly. Even England.
Which is one of the biggest conundrums ever. And he's thinking, wow, this guy doesn't know. I don't know where he believes he's a left back, but he's thinking, hang on here, if I play at left back, I'll get a play for England. Who knows? Next year, I could start because there's competition for places and I'm in front of the queue.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Because the thing is that I still think we should get someone with a bit more experience. We should get someone a bit more specialist, and that he should move further into midfield. Because, one of the things I want from our midfielders is that I want this sort of thing about the Xhaka position. What's the Xhaka position?
He had one good season, didn't he? He had one good season, Granny Xhaka.
All we're hearing about is from members of staff. This player's got to replace Granit Xhaka. Yeah. Havertz replaces Granit Xhaka. Marino replaces Granit Xhaka.
Nonsense.
I'm sure that when I look at other clubs, the number 8 position doesn't require someone who specifically be left-footed and to have a sort of a partnership with his left winger. The way we played it was effective, but hello, we don't play like that anymore. Since Granit Xhaka's at the club, we played a more sort of slower build-up where we have to win the ball back quickly and we have to make sure that we're not overloaded. Don't need a Xhaka position for that. So we got to, sort out that myth. But, there are other situations where can he play in the Odegaard position? Can he play where Declan plays? Can he play in a holding midfielder? I think he's got that in his locker. I really do think he's got that locker, but I think it'll evolve. It will evolve. It'll be interesting to see if we do get a left back. If he does move him in, but if he doesn't get a left back, then the lad may see his future as a left back because obviously Tuchel's playing him for England at left back.
But Jez, all these left backs this manager has signed over the years, right? And it's still a position where we've got a young man learning his trade that it's not his natural position. And this is it with his football manager. The amount of players he has played in their
non-position.
Do you know what I mean? What is going on? How many left backs now? I mean, we're still going into the transfer window needing a left back. I mean, what is going on, mate? You couldn't write it, could you?
You asking me?
Yeah, sorry, Jez. Sorry, man. Yeah.
I totally agree with you, mate. I mean, we've seen it so many times. This guy, I'm sorry. I have to just put it down to pure arrogance. That it's his belief that this is where he wants. Look, Aubameyang, right? Goal scorer. Stuck him out on the wing, left wing. Didn't want to be. You could see the bloke didn't want to be there. He wasn't happy there, and it obviously caused a lot of friction between Arteta and Aubameyang himself. and it all went tits up. Yeah, okay, I get it to a point that he was a bit disruptive in what he did, turned up late for the North London derby. Was that a sign of petulance? Probably. That's probably sticking his two fingers up to Arteta and saying, fuck you, man. I don't want to play at this position you've put me on.
Mm.
So I'm sort of like sticking my tongue out at you and telling you what I think. Is that a good move? Probably not. And we all know what happened after that. But this is what I think this manager does. You have good players. We've had some good players. But can you honestly turn around right now and tell me who's world class at Arsenal? No one. We ain't got one world class player. Can you tell me we're actually attracting any world class players in this window so far? No. And it's all down to this sodding manager. He doesn't have the attraction that other managers we've had. You know, it's a different gravy when we had Wenger. But this guy, no, sorry. He's an absolute fake. He's a fraud. He's a nightmare. And we ain't going anywhere with him. And until people wake up and smell the coffee and suddenly realise this guy is not the man, then we ain't doing nothing, guys. We ain't doing nothing. And I don't trust him in another way. I don't want him in this window to have any money because I know what's going to happen here. It's going to be the same old rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
We won't get the players we really want. We'll get somebody with what we need. As Kenny said at the start of the show, man, we're not just looking at one or two players here, 3 players. We're looking at 6, 7, 8.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's facts. Honestly, Jez, I can't disagree, mate. I mean, it's one of the most depressing transfer windows for me because right at the end of the season, I wanted the manager gone because I wanted new players to come in under a new manager. You know, fresh ideas, fresh style of play, going into the new season a little bit excited. Pre-season, the tours, go away with the new manager, the new players, you know, gel as a team. Because even the body language, Normski, of some of these players towards the end of the season, like, you know, you was watching it. I mean, I don't know about where you was watching it from, but I was looking at the body language of these players and a lot of them seemed relieved the season was over because it was like, weren't another match going into another game with his football manager. And how long do you think this manager is going to be? Because the fixture list comes out tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
now, if we don't hit the ground running, depending on who we get, how long do you think before the players kind of down tools, or will they ever down tools? Will he ever lose the dressing room?
I mean, some people say that the players are playing for him, and it probably will take a bit of time before we really see any kind of sort of backlash in terms of the players down in tools. I think, you, as you say, right to say, you looked at Lieber, for instance. He just is thinking, mate, I've seen enough of this. I'm seeing wasn't Howson being signed by Real Madrid, and maybe he's thinking maybe that was my chance to go there. You know what I mean? And all the other players, Saka in his head. Listen, they've got to be professional. But I think it's just the same old. We're second again, same voice we're going to hear next season. And I think they're looking to see what is this club, or what is this? Yeah, Ethan Manrique, as I said as well. Ethan Manrique, I felt sorry for him the way he was treated towards the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? And this is because of Arteta's just the way he manages people. He's just not the sort of guy to put his arm around his shoulders. Do you know what I mean? And I kind of fear for this season because, as I said, the other teams, they're sorting themselves out and the fixture list comes out tomorrow. We have to hit the ground running. And with that saying all of that, we're still trying to play toss up between, do we want Sesko? Do we want what's the name? Gokares. So there's too much. There's too many moving parts at the moment. Yeah, too many moving parts, and that's why we're like this and why we're feeling like this. And we're very much 17 days into the window. We're very frustrated because we're not really seeing anything clear cut in terms of who we're signing. We're really nowhere clear. I said it at the start. 1st of July, they said, that's when they're gonna start making their announcements. So I would hope that they have somebody lined up. It probably be Kepa. They'll probably announce Kepa. That's probably what will happen. You know what I mean? He's 20th goalkeeper. They'll announce him, and then we'll let the circus play out with Sesko and Gokares. But it's just the other areas that at the moment feels that they're being neglected. And just in general, I feel very underwhelmed with the players that are coming in. As Jez said, when you look at the team, there's no real game changer in there. When I say game changer, world-class players. Yeah, Saka could be a world-class. He's in between. He's not made it. I think under another manager, he could get there.
But teams are sussing Saka out, though, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're doubling up on him.
Yeah, 2 or 3 players on him, and he's out of the game.
See, we're too predictable to play against because if you lock down our right-hand side, Timber and Saka,
that's it.
We look very, very ordinary guys, don't we? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And like Kenny, I mean, the fixtures come out tomorrow. How are you feeling about next season? Because for me, right, every game this manager goes into next season is a cup final. Because he's put himself in that position. Right now, do you reckon it'll ever get to the stage where? Okay, two-part question here. Do you think it'll ever get to the stage where the players have had enough, and you'll see a little bit of down in tools? And do you think it'll ever get to the stage where the Cronkies might step in and go, "Do you know what? We've given him everything he needs, and it still ain't happening." Do you think it'll ever get to that stage, or do you think you'll see the whole season through again?
Well, first and foremost, we've got to hit the ground running. Liverpool, let's not forget, do not use Liverpool winning the title as an example. And I'm not talking about how that they won it. It's the points total. They won the league with a month to spare. They didn't need to get 95 points or 94 points. The game, their 84 points was more than enough. It was more than enough. So, but what we've seen for the last few years is that you can't drop points. You can't afford to even. You have to be immaculate. Arsenal have to be immaculate next season because we think Man City are going to be strong because Pep doesn't mess up in 2 years in a row, and then you've got Liverpool as well. They've already bought. They're about to buy. They bought big, and they're going to buy big again. They want the Champions League as well in the league. So they're going to be strong. So that's 2 clubs. So Arsenal can't afford to drop points. So 93, 95, that will could be the title next season.
Wow.
No team, I don't think.
That's frightening, Kenny, isn't it?
No team's winning the league end of April. Not happening. Not next season. So Arsenal got being immaculate. In terms of the players themselves, the players very much believe in this guy. He's picked his squad really well. He's picked. He hasn't got a team of superstars. He's got teams of superstars potentially in the making. So, and the theme across Arsenal, the theme across the Arsenal, hierarchy is that this is our project. This is our process. We're all in it together. As Cronky Josh would say, what we're trying to build. And that's the theme, what we're trying to build. So when you use themes like what you're trying to build, they won't turn against Mikel because of this. This is something we built together. And everyone's got bought into it. In terms of like the results going south, the problem we got is fans. All the avenues to sort of create dissent and create anarchy are pretty blocked. For instance, you can't leave your seat unattended for more than 2 or 3 games, or you lose your season ticket. So they got that sewn up. And they, even if you want to give your ticket away on the 11th hour at the exchange, the club may not be able to sell that ticket, so you still be penalised. I know there's been fans this season who have been unable to rebook their season tickets because they, unfortunately, went over that threshold. So they've lost their memberships. So the club have got that signing up. Another thing as well is it's the fact that a lot of people within the club, you've got to deprogram that thought in people's minds that Arteta took us from a club that was on its knees to a club that's respectable and competing. As long as you've got that mindset, then Mikel Arteta will be able to have a blank check at this football club. So it's not a case of results going south. It's that mindset. And to the extent this is Mikel's achievement, whatever that is. And that permeates within a lot of his fans who go to the games and a lot of people who support him in the media and a lot of YouTubers who are now on the brink of getting a good job within the mainstream.
Yeah.
So all of that
combination
is going to be hard to deprogram. Another thing as well is that I always say, if you want Mikel out, then there's nothing to stop you from phoning up Talk Sport. I can think of a few presenters who will be more than happy to come in. We won't shut it down. Kieran would shut it down. Murphy would shut it down. You know, if Laura Wood or Shaban Ahern, this silly, horrible girl, will shut you down. Horrible girl. But others will accommodate you. The same with, Radio 5, which is the mainstream as well. If you're dissatisfied, call in and basically say, look, I'm not happy. I want change. And be relentless. But just so it doesn't have to be one person. One person has to be what I call the kind of the catalyst, and then all's got to follow. It just needs one big person to go on an impassioned rant. Remember Chris Hudson, what he did at AFTV?
Yeah.
If it hadn't been for Chris Hudson coming out of the ground after the Villa defeat when we lost 3-1, beginning of the what season are we talking about? Beginning of the 2012-2013 season. Yeah. Chris Hudson came out, boom. AFTV's never looked back.
No, exactly.
Chris Hudson, who's going to call Talk Sports and or Radio 5 and set the wheels in motion for people to say, well, hang on here, we're not accepted. And then when that happens, you'll find more people in the ground and say, express their satisfaction, because not everyone has the mindset that we have to be grateful for Mikel. No. Unfortunately, the people who matter are the ones saying that we need to be grateful to Mikel. So yeah, that's what Ace says. It was 2013-2014 season. Ironically, the season when we signed Ozil. But yeah, that season when it happened. Yeah. But unfortunately, what we're having right now is that Arteta is in the clear. He's right in the front of the. Let's say if there was a Grand National right now, his horse is way in front of the other racers in terms of public opinion.
So, Jez, will you start? I mean, you're like me and a lot of the others. I wanted a fresh start, and Kenny and everything else. It's just our opinion, and we get absolutely pelters for it and stuff like that from certain people and everything else. And then you hear that, but who else are you wanting to come in? You're saying you want Arteta out, but give me examples who you want. Well, there's lots of examples who we want. But what I'm trying to say is when do you start running out of patience with the Cronkies to grow a pair and sack him? I mean, will that ever come, do you reckon? I said Christmas. I don't know about you, my friend.
I think it's going to take two factors. It's going to take the fans. If we have a shit start to the season and by Christmas we're sitting in 7th, let's say. We ain't done well in the Champions League. We're out of the League Cup again. I mean, a total capitulation. That is when the fans will turn.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is when fans then seriously got to vote with their feet. But they're very clever, Arsenal. What they've done, you guys have got season tickets. right? You've got to put your tickets back in if you can't make the home game, so they can slot it off. So somebody will buy your ticket. If you can't make it for 3 or 4 games on the bounce, and you say, "Oh, look, I'm ill or whatever, I can't go," somebody will buy it. So there's always going to be somebody in the seats, bums on seats, and that's all the Cronkies want. That's all they care about, man. So until we have an absolute diabolical start to a season or a dismal season, and it's all gone tits up by Christmas, you can say we're out the title race because Man City and Liverpool are challenging and we're 10 points behind or whatever at Christmas. That, I think, may be a thing where fans are going to say, "No, this ain't good enough now."
Yeah, it's got to be a total capitulation, isn't it, really? I mean, I agree with you. I mean, if Christmas we're sort of languishing 5th, 6th, out the title race by Christmas, and then January comes round and whoever we get in the FA Cup and we fare badly in that, I reckon they may start looking at the certain situation, but I think they'll still probably give him to the end of the season, though, in this lot. I mean, it's just an absolute joke. And yeah, I mean, I don't know where we go. I mean, before we wrap it up, guys, and smash the likes, guys, and make sure you sub on your way in as well. Smash the likes. Also, the links are pinned in the chat, so make sure you sub to all these guys as well. Absolute legends. And yeah, we've all got to stick together on this, guys. So make sure that you smash all the likes, sub to everyone. It does help us all out. Before we go, guys, we've talked about players coming in. Just very quickly, why are we so, the players going out? I mean, I've listed a couple here: Zinchenko, Kivior, Trossard, Jesus, Tomiyasu, really, if we can get him back up and fit. Kenny, who do you think we'll see within the next sort of, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks? What big names do you think we'll end up seeing going out the door?
I think the only name that I've heard about, the only name that's sort of running about is Martinelli. There's interest for Martinelli from AC Milan. And he says he wants to stay at the football club, but he'd be the player that'd be definitely going.
Yeah. Do you think he'll have an option to stay though, Kenny? Or do you think they'll sort of more or less say to him, "Look, we've had an offer. We'll see you later"?
Well, it depends. It's all about his wages, isn't it? AC Milan going to meet his wages. He's on a loss of money. Of course he's going to want to stay at Arsenal. He's not going to stay for the bloody project. He stayed for the 180 grand a week he gets.
Exactly. It's a lot of money in it.
It's the wages. It's the wages that will keep him at the club. But as long as we have players like that at the club that we can definitely get a good fee for, then we're going to always have spending limits at the club. That's nothing personal against him. Is that you can't have that measuring figure of 350 and then expect to keep all your players. I think some of our fans, I respect them, but I think in the business wise, you're in cloud cuckoo land. You've got to sell if you want to have a big expenditure. And sometimes, and let's not forget, don't feel too attached to them. They haven't won you nothing.
Exactly. They're not winners, are they?
Exactly, yeah.
Don't lose sleep over them. Normski. So we'll say Martinelli's out the door. Who else do you expect to go and see? Well, who do you hope?
My wish list, should I say?
Yeah.
My wish list is that all the players that Arteta bought, apart from Mengalese, for real. Zinchenko, I mean, there's talk about him possibly going, but again, it's the wages that's putting off a lot of these clubs. And I think that's down to the way Edu has gone about the business and giving these guys high wages. You've got Tomiyasu, who's constantly injured. He's on 100k. He won't be available until the back end of 2025. Same with Gabriel Jesus, 260 grand a week. You ain't going to get him off your books that easily.
All injured.
All injured. Yeah. And then, as I said, the situation with Martinelli, I think if a decent offer comes in for him and the buying club can handle his wages or he's prepared to take a drop, then I think Berta will be looking at it and thinking, well, okay, if we can get 50 to 60 million for him, you know, we only bought the guy for what, 7 million? Is something around about that
Yeah.
sort of price.
Yeah.
So we are making, you know, profit on him. I think, as Kenny says, you just don't get attached to them.
No.
They have done us nothing. So why are we getting attached to them? And this is what I don't understand about this club. As soon as you want to bring in players that are going to come in and challenge players that are established players that are in the side, the fans get up in arms. Oh no, you can't have somebody come in and challenge Saka. You can't have somebody come in and challenge this one. Blah blah blah.
Competition is healthy, though, isn't it, Norms?
Of course, it's healthy. Well, look what happened to Pepe. Yeah, I mean, you know, Saka went from playing at left back to housing Pepe, who we paid 72 million pounds.
No, exactly.
So you've got a 72 million pound player sitting on the bench, can't get a look in because Saka's come through the ranks and by right he's done really well. Yeah, but you know, the manager, if he doesn't like you, he's just going to isolate you. And I fear for. I'm not saying that he doesn't like Ethan, but I'm just saying the way he treats.
Oh, he'll end up on loan.
He'll probably go.
He'll end up on loan.
Yeah, for me, Zinchenko. So the people that I would like to see go, and then realistically, Martinelli and Zinchenko, possibly Kivior. Look, he done well for us whilst Mangalese was out, but maybe those three. But Tomiyasu and Jesus, they will be here until. He could sit out his contract.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I mean, for me with Martinelli, before I come on to Jez quickly before we wrap it up, for me Martinelli has to move away from Arsenal to better his career because under this manager he's gone backwards and he'll continue to do so. Because as soon as Martinelli finds another club, you'll see a completely different Martinelli. 100% you'll see a different Martinelli. He'll come back, he'll play with a smile on his face, and he'll be banging goals in. Jez, quickly, man, who would you like, you know, in the sort of starting 11 that regularly get a game? For me, it's Trossard, Jesus. Who would you like to see go out the door, my friend? Who do you think we should be cashing on?
I actually quite like Trossard.
Yeah,
off the bench.
Oh, that's fair enough, man. Yeah, no, good.
I think he's an impact player off the bench. For me, Vieira, it's got to go.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tommy Ashley, waste of time. Jesus, got to go. I'd also like, if I had my own way, Havertz out. Even though I did say once there was a player in him there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's proven I was so wrong. But Martinelli, I like Martinelli. I do.
Yeah.
But he has regressed under this manager. So for the sake of the young man's career, I wouldn't wish him gone, but I'd wish him all the best if he did join another club in Spain, maybe, or Italy, France, or somewhere. And I'd say, well, good luck to you, young man, because you've just gone backwards under this manager. I mean, when he was playing under Emery, he was class, man, proper class. And I thought, gee, we got one here. But for that reason and that reason alone, I would wish him all the very best. But
facts, Jez. 100%, guys. And listen, guys, honestly, I think it's safely to say, is it a circus? Well, it's looking that way at the moment, and it is a circus. We've got players we need to move on. We've got players that are out of form that haven't found their form under the manager. We're umming and ahhing over Sesko and Gorkarez. Do we get Gorkarez? Do we get Sesko? Gorkarez has done it in a Portuguese league, therefore it's a farmers league, so he's not going to do it in the Premier. Meanwhile, Normski said Vardy come from non-league and won the league with Leicester. So where do you go with that one? We've got Skeddy playing at left back when he's clearly not a left back, and we'd like him in midfield. We're still trying to replace Granit Xhaka. After one good season, we're going on about a replacement for Granit Xhaka as if he was an absolute world beater for Arsenal Football Club. So, listen, when you add it all up and you go round and round in circles, it's a circus. You'd pay to come and watch us, wouldn't you? You'd pay to watch the clowns and all the goings on. If you was a fly in the wall at Arsenal Football Club on a regular basis, and you was actually from outside watching in, you'd be going, this ain't a way to run a football club, is it? Do you know what I mean? And I can't believe it, with all its history, with all what we stand for as the football club, for all us legends here that's been following the football club for years and years and years. I think it's an absolute, something's got to be done quick. But anyway, guys, make sure that you sub to these guys. All their links are pinned. It's been an absolute pleasure, gentlemen. I can't thank you enough, as usual. Kenny, Normski, Don Jez, it's been an absolute wonderful. So, Normski, what you got coming up, my friend?
Yeah, tomorrow, the What's Going On podcast show is 6:30. So, if you want to tune in. We'll be discussing the transfer window for our various clubs. So we'll have a number of people on. So look forward to that. And come and join us at 6:30 tomorrow evening. Yeah,
make sure you sub and follow that. Jezza, I know you're busy. It's Jez is now. So what you got coming up, Jez? All good stuff?
I'm going live at 7.
Great stuff.
To do a chat with Lee and that, and then it's just no change at Arsenal, is it?
No, mate. No. It's frustrating. I can't wait for the season to kick off. The fixture list comes out. I can't wait for the season to kick off just to see how much we. It's terrible, isn't it? Really, I can't believe we're operating like it. To be honest, Kenny, I know you got no channel, mate, but where can we find you and what you got coming up, my friend?
I'm at 7 o'clock. I've got a show with Jez at 7. I've got DB tomorrow at 4, and then I'm with Highbury. Like I said,
Highbury squad.
I'm the Highbury squad.
Oh, you got the Highbury squad. Right. Okay.
7 o'clock on Thursday. So bit busy. I'll tell you one thing, right? I need. First thing I'm going to do is have a shower just to cool me down.
Yeah, just to cool everyone down. I think we all need it, guys. I know you stream. Yeah, so you got a stream at 7. Thank you very much for. Thank you all very much for joining me. Thanks for the chat as always. All your comments. Big up everyone. Stay safe and make sure you're following everyone. Sub, smash the likes because it all helps. And we're gone, guys. Thank you very, very much indeed. Much appreciated.
All right, guys. I'll see you soon.